Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs for the week. We begin with a question on the Chagos archipelago. An archipelago is a group of islands. It's a group of islands. Now the world's largest archipelago is Indonesia. It has over 16,000 islands. But that's also the world's largest island country. Let's look at this particular place here. Now the answer is highlighted in bold as usual, but this is where you have Chagos Islands. Now, this is Chagos, you know, where is it mentioned? Yeah, it's mentioned here. It's about 56 square kilometers. That's about it. But it's spread across quite a large area, as you can see here. And, its population is about 5,000. 5K is kilo is 1,000, so 5,000 there. Now, historically, it's been a part of Mauritius, but in 1715 to about 1810, it was occupied by France. It was occupied by France, and 1814, between 1814 and till about 2024, it was ruled by the UK, United Kingdom. In 1965, Chagos archipelago was removed, separated from Mauritius. This is Mauritius. This, you can see it here. This is spread across. It's a very tiny country, but it is spread across this area here. Now, this was separated in 1965. 1965. Remember this, 64, 65, it was separated. In the same decade, the UK, United Kingdom, invited the United States to build a military base here, a military base in a place called Diego Garcia. Of the 56 square kilometer area, about 32 square kilometers is occupied by this small island here. This is Diego Garcia, this one, this dot. Yeah, it's moved a bit here and there. Okay. Now, let me tell you something more. The Americans set up a military base here primarily because they wanted to, keep an eye on the Soviet Union, because this was the Cold War era. This is 1960s, okay, the Cold War era. Now, the Cold War, as you would know, my friends, was this historical war of nerves. There was no actual war between the United States and the Soviet Union, but they were always at loggerheads through their proxies. They were always fighting against each other through their proxies, like they fought against each other in the Soviet Union, in Vietnam War, in Afghanistan, elsewhere in Africa as well. And one of those playgrounds was, in the Indian Ocean as well. So Diego Garcia was this small island that was given more or less on lease, not exactly on paper, but the UK gave it to the United States to set up a military base from where it could keep an eye on Asia. Okay, even today it remains. Even today, even though in 2021, the International Court of Justice ruled in favor of Mauritius, because Mauritius went to the ICJ saying that the British occupation of the Chagos Islands is illegal, and the ICJ accepted that contention. So in 2024, the UK returned Chagos Islands, but it kept the lease, or more or less it allowed the US to keep the military base. Now, why is this the bone of contention? The military base itself is not a bone of contention between Mauritius and the United States and the UK on the other side. The main reason is the people of Chagos Islands, called Chagosians, were evicted from this Diego Garcia. So when the Americans came here to set up a military base, they threw out all the natives, and the natives were not even allowed to enter that area, the waters around Diego Garcia. So that's a major bone of contention. So even today, though the ownership of Chagos Islands has come back to Mauritius, the Chagosians are not allowed to enter Diego Garcia. So that's the story, my friends. Okay. So this is Mauritius, Seychelles here, Madagascar, the world's fourth largest island country, fourth largest island. Okay, Madagascar. So let's look at only the capitals. Antananarivo, Antananarivo. I'll look at only the capitals. Maldives, you would know, is Malé. This is the Maldives. Okay. Mauritius, we mentioned a while ago, not the capital, of course. It is Port Louis. Port Louis. Mozambique, this is Mozambique. Maputo. Maputo. And Tanzania, this you can see here is Tanzania. The capital is Dodoma. Though the biggest city is Dar es Salaam, the capital is more or less, administrative capital is Dodoma. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, a bit about the Chagos Islands for you. Okay. From here, let's go to the next one. What does it read like? Again, on the Indian Ocean. Yeah. This is, you can see it's a very colorful map with two colors, of course. Two major colors. The 24th Indian Ocean Rim Association meeting of the Council of Ministers was hosted by the current IORA chair, Sri Lanka. This is Sri Lanka. Virtually under the theme of Sustainable Indian Ocean for Future Generation. Now, this is an organization that was created primarily to extend cooperation, to promote cooperation, political, cultural, all kinds of cooperation between the states that are on the Indian Ocean, that you could say are on the coast of Indian Ocean, that are what are called littoral states. See, this IORA has 23 members. 23 members. Now, you can see that there are two major colors here. Dark green, these are the members. Okay, these are the members. Now, the parrot green or whatever green you call it are dialogue partners. They are dialogue partners. Now, you may wonder, how is France a member of the Indian Ocean? Well, France owns Mayotte Islands here. So, consequently, France is also in the Indian Ocean. Now, the headquarters of, IORA are in a place called Ebene in Mauritius. Ebene, the town of Ebene in Mauritius. This is Mauritius. Okay, Ebene in Mauritius. Its Secretary General is an Indian, Sanjeev Ranjan. Sanjeev Ranjan. Okay, yep. There we go, guys. All that we wanted to discuss, we got it here. Sri Lanka's capital, there are two capitals that Sri Lanka has. Usually I would discuss a lot more than the capital, but today we'll stick to some basic stuff. Colombo is one capital. Then, and outside Colombo, there is a suburb, and that's called Sri Jayawardhane Pure Kotte. Sri Jayawardhane Pure Kotte. Okay. The map of India in this particular one, because it's taken from Wikipedia, it does not represent the true external boundaries of India, because as you can see here, part of it is shown as occupied by China, and another part by Pakistan. China occupies about 37,000 square kilometers of Ladakh, which it occupied in the 1950s, and Pakistan controls, or rather has illegally occupied 87,000 square kilometers. So, 87,000 square kilometers of Indian territories under Pakistani illegal occupation, and about 37,000 square kilometers of Indian territories under Chinese occupation. Okay. Seychelles, this is Seychelles, you can see here. Yeah, this is Victoria. The capital is Victoria. The capital is Victoria. Okay, guys, from there we could go to something else. Yeah, what does it read like? As per the 2025 Asiatic Lion Census in Gujarat, identify the correct statements. All of them are correct. The census has shown a remarkable increase, about 38%, 32% jump in populations. The last census was taken in 2020. And, it's just not that the Asiatic lions, we are talking of Asiatic lions, not the African lions. The Asiatic lions have not only remained in where where they were, they have expanded their habitat area by about 5,000 square kilometers. So they are actually thriving in a lot of other places as well. They are found only in Gujarat's Gir National Park. Now, of course, there are 2 more national parks, wildlife sanctuaries. Apart from Gir, there is Barda. There is Barda, again in Gujarat, Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, and there is Pania Wildlife Sanctuary. Got it? So I'll use white, I think. Barda and Pania. Otherwise, you can see if you look at the African lions, they are throughout Africa, basically. Yeah. Which state government has approved a proposal to rename Gaya city as Gaya G? This is Bihar, because it's in Bihar, of course. Yeah, the city of Gaya is sacred to followers of 3 major Indian religions: Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. If you look at Jainism, or rather Buddhism, pretty close to Gaya, there is a place called Bodh Gaya. This is where Bhagwan Gautam Buddha is said to have attained enlightenment. Okay. So there is this Bodhi tree under which he is said to have attained enlightenment. This is a place. And then again, Gaya, of course, in Hindu culture, Gaya, like we discussed this culture, then we have Hindu culture. In Hindu culture, it is believed that after the death of their father, Dashratha, Bhagwan Ram and Lakshmanji, along with Ma Sita, went to Gaya to offer Pindadana. Okay, yeah, in honor of their father. So they came here. They came here to Gaya. See, when you read these stories, they give you a lot of, lot of understanding, a great deal of understanding of our own culture, our own way of life, our own way of living. It is important that we become curious about such things, my friends. Yeah. Jharkhand's capital is what? Ranchi? Yeah, Ranchi. Ranchi there, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, Bihar, of course, Patna, Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal, Odisha, Bhubaneswar. Just to give you some idea, airports. Bhubaneswar airport is served by, by Biju Patnaik International Airport. Biju Patnaik International Airport. For once, I will discuss only airports today. Biju, usually we discuss CMs and all that. Bhubaneswar Airport, Biju Patnaik International Airport. Bhopal Airport, Raja Bhoj International Airport. That is Bhopal. Bihar, Patna Airport is named after the great freedom fighter Lok Nayak Shri Jayaprakash Narayan. Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan. So Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan gave his name to the Patna airport. Then we have Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is plenty of airports, but if you look at the capital, Lucknow, the airport is named after the former Prime Minister of India, Chaudhry Charan Singh. Chaudhry Charan Singh, who was the Prime Minister for about 6 months, actually 4 months, 6 weeks, but then interim Prime Minister he was. But in July 1979 and January 1980, so Chaudhry Charan Singh International Airport in Lucknow. Jharkhand Airport, that would be Ranchi is the capital. So that airport is named after Birsa Munda, the great tribal leader and freedom fighter. Birsa Munda International Airport. Which Indian has been named in Time magazine's first ever list of the world's 100 most influential people in philanthropy? Danpun, yeah. Phil is love, anthropy, the study, mankind. People who love mankind, who do a lot of good to, to help people in, who are in need. All of them have been named, and one prominent name that is missing that actually caught my eye was the name of, Shiv Nadar. Shiv Nadar, as you would know, my friends, is the founder, Chairman Emeritus of HCL Group. Also called, Shiv Nadar is also called the father of India's computer hardware industry. Okay, but his name was missing in this list. Nikhil Kamath and his brother Nitin Kamath, they founded Zerodha, which is a stockbroking firm. Ajim Premji was the chairman and CEO of Wipro Limited for a long time. Which football club has won 2025 Europa League, its first European trophy in more than 4 decades? Tottenham Hotspur. Well, this was, this is where they defeated Manchester United. I will not discuss this further. So, winner was Tottenham Hotspur, and the runner-up was Manchester United. MU it is called. What is the theme of the 2025 International Day for Biological Diversity? Ladies and gentlemen, the choice is mentioned here. Harmony with nature and sustainable development. But what you need to know, it's always celebrated, observed on May 22nd. May 22nd. So there we go. And, there are a lot of important days. You can see India's National Sports Day. Just for fun, I'm adding value here. National Sports Day of India is on August 29th. Yeah, it's a birthday of the great hockey player Dhyan Chand. And then, of course, you have the International Yoga Day, June 21st, I guess. Yeah. Then World Water Day. World Water Day will be March 22nd. Earth Day, April 22nd. January 12th will be the National Youth Day of India, which is also the birthday of, they're celebrated in honor of the birthday of the great Swami Vivekananda. In the backdrop of Operation Sindoor, India has sent an all-party delegation. India has sent several all-party delegations to highlight India's anti-terror resolve. Identify the correct statements regarding this mission. All of them are correct. India has sent several delegations to nations around the world to put forth our viewpoint as to why we have taken, this operation against the Pakistani terrorists and establishment. You look at some of these countries here, just to give you an idea. Bahrain's capital is Manama. What is it? Manama. It's a monarchy. It's an absolute despotic monarchy ruled from Manama. Bahrain's king is a Sunni Muslim, where there was a considerable angst in the Shia population because against the Raja Khalifa. He is named Khalifa. There was a great deal of protest here, but all protests were crushed by the Sunni monarchy. Kuwait, Algeria. Algeria is Africa's biggest country, and this is ruled from a place called Algiers. Algiers. Okay. One country here you need to know is, Panama's capital is Panama City, but Guyana. Guyana is a small country in South America, and its capital is Georgetown. Georgetown. It's the only country in South America whose official language is English. Okay. So Georgetown in Guyana. Colombia, the capital is Bogota. It's also called the drug capital of the world. Colombia is the only country in the world named after Christopher Columbus. Yeah. Did I miss anything? Yeah. Which country won the SAF, that is South Asia Football Federation, under 19 championship? It was held, my friends, in the town of Upia in Arunachal Pradesh. India was the winner. 4th title it was. Bangladesh was the runner-up. Okay, all that you have to know. Host city, Upia in Arunachal Pradesh. India was a winner, having won its 4th title with this particular win here, and Bangladesh was the runner-up. Okay. ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, has formed a committee to investigate the incident in which the POLAS satellite launch vehicle C-61 rocket failed to place EOS, that is Earth Observation Satellite 09, into its intended orbit. The rocket for first 2 stages worked very well. The third stage went bad, and the mission went really bad after that. Earth observation satellites help us map the Earth deep inside. It's kind of an eye in the space for as far as India is concerned. So it can map resources, people movement, border movements and all that stuff, plus resources, most importantly resources and all. Now, remember one thing about ISRO, its new chairperson is Dr. V. Narayanan. V. Narayanan. Yeah. Dr. V. Narayanan is the chairperson of ISRO. ISRO was started in 1969, 15th August 1969. It's headquartered in Bengaluru. Where is it? Bengaluru. And this particular rocket was launched from a place called Sriharikota, which is in Andhra Pradesh. But it is home to what is called Satish Dhawan Space Center. So Satish Dhawan Space Center is in Sriharikota. India's main rocket launch center is Satish Dhawan Space Center, previously called Sriharikota Range. Okay, what is it? Sriharikota Range. It's an island, squeezed between Pulicat Lake and the Bay of Bengal. There we go. With total yearly earnings of $275 million, who topped the 2025 list of the world's highest paid athletes. Cristiano Ronaldo, football, Portugal. He belongs to Portugal, and football. Okay, Americans call it soccer. So in their their bhasha, let's use this because the table that they used, like for example, Stephen Curry, okay, United States. Is a basketballer. Just to give you an idea, 275. Sorry, not here. 159 million, my friends. I forgot million. Yeah, otherwise it would be $275. Tyson Fury, UK, a boxer. He made 146 million. Then comes to Dak Prescott, who is again, he is an American footballer. American footballer, US. American football is more or less rugby, okay? It's slightly different. 137 million. And Lionel Messi, as you know, is from Argentina. He made, he's a soccer player. He made 135 million. The numbers are 100% right. Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo has a particular symptom called racing heart. His heart beats faster than most people, but he hasn't let any kind of problem come in his way, my friends. Okay, there we go with drone technology here. Ladies and gentlemen, which Indian public sector unit has signed a contract with the Indian Army Air Defence to manufacture the integrated drone detection and interdiction system? Interdiction, this C more or less is silent. It's not diction, interdiction, it's interdiction. You can say interdiction, no problem. Yeah, hardly makes a difference. Yeah, it interdicts, that is, it stops something in its tracks. So PSU named BEL is going to manufacture this. What does it do? It is a counter drone technology. Drone comes in, it tracks it, detects it, tracks it, and then disrupts it. That is, it neutralizes it. Who is the chairperson of BEL? Manoj Jain. So Bharat Electronics is headed by Manoj Jain. Bharat Dynamics, let's take one more. Bharat Dynamics, BDL, Commodore A. Madhava Rao. A. Madhava Rao. One word, Madhava Rao. A. Madhava Rao. So, I guess that is quite a bit we discuss here. Let us go to Noor El Sherbini of Egypt has won her record, has won a record 8th, global championship. Professional Squash Association Squash World Championship women's title for a record 8th time. Now, I want you to know this was held in Chicago. As you know, Chicago is in America. Okay, I think it's the 3rd biggest city in America by population. And while this was a women's championship that she had won, the men's championship was also won by a person from Egypt named Mustafa Asal. In some places you may find MOS. Don't worry, Mustafa. We will go with either, no problem. If you want, I can make it Mustafa also. Okay, Mustafa Asal. Again, from Egypt, men's world championship winner. Okay, same tournament, men's championship winner. Under the ULAS, which is Understanding Lifelong Learning for All in Society initiative, which has become India's first fully literate state, Mizoram. The literacy under this is 98.2%. So, what is this scheme about? See, usually people who are age 7 and above can read, write, understand. This is important. Read, write and understand are considered literate. So, here we are looking at people who can read, write and understand. That is a normal literacy definition. But there are a lot of people who do not make it to school for whatever reason, for poverty, for other reasons. A lot of people do not make it to school. So, they remain illiterate. They do not have what is called functional literacy. Okay? So, to make people fully functional literate, the Government of India launched this particular scheme, ULAS. Under this, people who are age 15 and above, their education needs are taken care of. They are made fully functional. That is, they should be able to read, write and understand. So, if you have not been able to do in the past, the government will do things for you now. That is what it is. It provides a platform where people can read, write and understand things. So, through this particular thing, my friends, of course, all congratulations to the people of Mizoram, because I read this report. A lot of people volunteered to educate those who were not as lucky as them. So, if I am lucky, you are lucky, who have access, because we have had access to education and all, a lot of people weren't that lucky. So, people who were lucky, went out of their way to educate those who weren't that lucky. Yeah, it's a people initiative, my friends. And by the way, the Union Minister for Education is Dharmendra Pradhan, who is, what is the capital here? Aizawl. Laldu Hama is the Chief Minister. Laldu Hama is the Chief Minister. No surname, nothing. Laldu Hama is the Chief Minister of Mizoram. Okay. One more state, Goa, Panjim or Panaji, and Pramod Sawant is the Chief Minister. Pramod Sawant. Okay. Goa is India's smallest state by area, 3,702 square kilometers. They make it 3,700 square kilometers, India's smallest by area. Okay. Which country has unveiled a concept of $175 billion golden dome? Basically Golden Dome is, what does it say, missile defense system. Any sort of attack on the country, be it in an ICBM, a hypersonic missile, any kind of missile that is aimed at destroying the United States, it will be neutralized by this particular system. The contours are yet to be, worked out, but a lot of things will be satellite based, interception, interdiction, detection, tracking, neutralizing, everything more or less will be satellite based systems. Let us see how it goes. Okay. Israel has Iron Dome. Israel has Iron Dome technology like this. So, the United States wants Golden Dome. Name Pakistan's current army chief, who was recently promoted to the rank of field marshal, which is considered to be the, highest rank in the country. Asim Munir. Asim Munir is the chief of the army staff. Now he calls himself, maybe he pushed the civilian government to give him the title of field marshal, which is a 5-star general. Normally there is a 4-star general. Army chief, navy chief, air force chief are 4-star generals, 4-star chiefs. This is a 5-star. He is now 5-star. Okay. So apart from the chief of the army staff, he is a field marshal. He is also a field marshal. He was earlier Director General of ISI, Inter-Services Intelligence. ISI is Inter-Services Intelligence. Sharing of services, sharing of intelligence between services, Air Force, Navy, Army and all that. So this is Pakistan's primary spy agency. He was there for a very short time as its Director General. Okay. He is the second guy to have become the field marshal in Pakistan. The first guy was Ayub Khan. Ayub Khan. That was, I think, in 1958. 1958. Well, the good thing about Ayub Khan, at least we could say, is that once he became the chief of army staff, once he became the field marshal, he left the office of the chief of army staff. He said, okay, so make someone else the chief of the army staff. But Munir wants to be both. Yeah, Munir wants to be both. Which country was awarded the certificate of elimination of trachoma as a public health problem by the WHO recently? Now, trachoma is an infectious disease. It's an infectious disease, and it's caused by a bacterium called chlamydia. Chlamydia. What is it? Trachomitis. So this is a bacterium that causes diseases. It impacts the eyes. So it actually, eats up the eyes. The eyelid, it makes the eyelid very difficult to open, and sometimes the eyelid, gets inverted within. So it could lead to even total blindness. Yeah, it impacts nearly 14 crore people worldwide. In 42 countries, 14 crore people are impacted by this disease, my friends. Yeah, but India is more or less free of trachoma, which is a remarkable achievement, my friends. Yeah, it only reflects, the resolve of the government and, of course, the healthcare, folks. Identify the correct statements regarding Malur Ramaswamy Srinivasan. Malur, M-A-L-U-R, Malur Ramaswamy Srinivasan, who is, a great nuclear scientist of our country. He played a key role in the development of India's nuclear power program at BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center. There is this India's first atomic, research reactor, Apsara. He played a key role in that. Dr. Homi Bhabha, the father of India's, nuclear program, was his guide. So Malur Srinivasan worked with him, and they worked on Apsara, which was India's first nuclear research reactor. This is located BARC, which is in Maharashtra, in a place called Trombay. Above Bombay, you have Trombay in Maharashtra. Okay? And of course, there's a lot here that's already mentioned. Great men who have built India, my friends. One of the great men, who built India. Oh, which university has been barred from enrolling international students by the United States President Donald Trump? He's all over. Yeah, he's told Harvard University, you cannot admit foreign students. Now he says that your foreign intake cannot be more than 15% of the total class strength. Historically, Harvard, if you look at the MBA from Harvard, the MBA class at Harvard would have at least 70 students from at least 70 countries. So you would have people from Namibia, India, Pakistan, China, everywhere, from everywhere. Now he says not more than 15% of the class can be from outside the United States. Let's see where it goes, my friends. We are mentioning University of California, Berkeley. The campus name is mentioned because there are, I think, 12 campuses of University of California. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently inaugurated the Rising Northeast Investors Summit in New Delhi. Yeah, I want to use red here because it's a map and it's colorful, isn't it? See, this is of course India's northeast, my friends. The seven sisters. You have Arunachal Pradesh. The capital is Itanagar. You have Nagaland, Kohima, Manipur, Imphal, Mizoram, Aizawl. Tripura's capital is Agartala. Meghalaya's capital is Shillong. Dispur is where Dispur is the capital of Assam. The seven sisters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you need to understand one more thing, that one state has three boundaries, international boundaries. Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh has Bhutan on its west, China on its north, and this is Myanmar. This is Myanmar. Okay. Yeah. Meghalaya, we looked at the CMs of some of these places. Nagaland, shall we look at Nagaland's Chief Minister? Neiphiu Rio. Neiphiu Rio. That's Nagaland's Chief Minister. Coming to Meghalaya. Meghalaya, the Chief Minister is Conrad Sangma. Conrad Sangma. Yeah. Tripura's Chief Minister is Dr. Manik Saha. Manik Saha, S-A-H-A. Mizoram, we mentioned Laldu Homa. Manipur is under President's rule. Arunachal Pradesh, Pema Khandu. Arunachal Pradesh, that is Pema, P-E-M-A, Pema Khandu. I guess we covered everything. Assam's Chief Minister, you all know, is what's that guy's name? Himanta Biswa Sharma. Himanta Biswa Sharma. Okay. That's all from me. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Stay curious.